The lion devours the flesh, but the fox captures the mind. To rule another is not to break their will, but to make them believe your cage is their castle. Machiavelli. The art of dominating hearts and minds has always been the secret game of the powerful. Machiavelli, in his cold and calculated view of the world, never treated morality as a brake, but as a tool. The prince does not need to be virtuous, only to appear virtuous. This is the core of all power strategy, creating the illusion of goodness, loyalty, and tenderness, while the true purpose is to maintain silent, invisible, and imperceptible dominance. Whoever truly wishes to control cannot act through explicit force, but rather through subtlety, through the invisible web that binds the other without them even realizing they are no longer free. Machiavellian cunning teaches that every human being carries within them a fragile point, a hidden desire, a never-confessed vanity, a wound that begs for recognition. The one who desires control does not attack directly. He observes, listens more than he speaks, and smiles more than he threatens. And in this gesture of apparent passivity, he collects information, discovers what the other fears, what the other wants, and what the other cannot bear to lose. For the key to power lies not in imposing one's own will, but in offering exactly what the other already desires, as if it were a gift, when in truth it is a trap. Machiavelli reminds us that the wise ruler must learn to be simultaneously fox and lion. The lion frightens, but it is the fox who evades the traps. In this metaphor lies the secret of psychological dominance. Exhibit enough force to be respected, but never so much force as to incite rebellion, and at the same time envelop the other in sweetness, in understanding, in an appearance of complicity. Controlling is not screaming, it is not ordering, but rather creating a space where the other person believes their choices are free, when in reality all have already been conducted, molded, and delimited by the manipulator. The ancients knew this. Kings offered parties. Religious leaders promised salvation. Lovers offered eternal devotion. But behind these theatrical scenarios, the cold calculation always existed. How to maintain obedience without it appearing to be obedience. How to imprison without the prison having bars. How to govern without the crown being seen. The answer lies in appearance, in the theater of life, in the game of masks. Power is a stage, and Machiavelli is the playwright who reveals this to the attentive reader. If you wish to win, never show your true face. And thus, the first hidden law of dominance is born. Never let your true intention show. The other must believe that you are fragile when you are strong, that you are innocent when you are cunning, that you are loyal when you are already preparing the blow. Manipulation is only effective when it is confused with affection, when it dresses itself in virtue, when it seems like a gesture of care. This is why true strategists do not expose themselves. They let others surrender themselves like moths attracted to the flame. The Machiavellian gaze crosses centuries and remains current because it touches the immutable core of human nature: vanity. Everyone wants to be admired. Everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to be special. The one who controls does not need beauty, nor wealth, nor titles. It suffices to know how to look deeply and say exactly what the other needs to hear, even if it is a calculated lie. Thus, the seed of dependence is planted, and dependence is the strongest of shackles. The art of discreet domination lies not in dominating through force, but in dominating through necessity. When someone believes they need you, that only through you will they find the validation, security, or pleasure they desire, that person is no longer free. And Machiavelli knew, it is better to be feared than loved if one cannot be both. But the wise controller does not choose between one and the other. He alternates between the two according to the occasion. He knows when to offer affection and when to withdraw that affection as a silent punishment. He knows when to show himself as a protector and when to distance himself so that the other begs for his presence. The game is made of contrasts, of calculated absences, of overwhelming presences. Just as the prince keeps the people hopeful with vague promises, the manipulator keeps his target in suspense, oscillating between the sensation of conquest and the sensation of loss. And the more unstable this territory is, the firmer the invisible prison will be. For whoever controls desire controls the soul, and whoever controls the soul possesses more than any crown could give. The secret lies not in brute imposition, but in silent choreography, where every gesture, every word, every silence was calculated as part of a greater plan. This is what Machiavelli would teach any disciple seeking power. Do not fight it, exploit it. Do not try to change the other, just discover their deepest instincts and use them in your favor. The fox does not fight with the prey. It waits patiently until the prey enters its den alone. Those who wish to understand power cannot ignore the role of illusion. The master of manipulation knows that the raw and naked truth is almost never bearable. What really moves men and women is the appearance of truth, the polished reflection of a mirror that shows not what is, but what one wishes to see. Therefore, the second law of Machiavellian strategy is clear. Always feed the other's imaginary. Do not offer facts, offer symbols. Do not deliver certainties, but promises. For symbols become stronger than any palpable reality. Machiavelli already said that the masses are more content with the image of virtue than with virtue itself. And in the theater of intimate life, this maxim repeats itself. The manipulator creates the illusion of generosity, of dedication, of unconditional care, even if every gesture is moved by calculation. The other does not see the string that moves the marionette. They see only the dance, the music, the curtain that opens at the right moment. This is the essence of strategy: to create a spectacle so convincing that the audience never suspects the hidden script. Every human being lives in search of meaning. We look for signs, interpretations, revelations that validate our existence. The strategist who understands this holds an invisible weapon in his hands. He knows that it is enough to insinuate, to let the other complete the gaps with their own imagination. A calculated pause in a conversation can be worth more than 1,000 words. An ambiguous look can awaken more doubts than an entire speech. And every doubt is one more chain, because the mind that questions finds no rest, and in this whirlwind, it desperately seeks the firm center that the manipulator represents. Machiavellian seduction is not made of constant intensity, but of absence and presence. Power is not exercised only when one gives, but also when one takes away. The one who knows how to disappear at the right time, who knows how to deny what he previously granted, plants the sensation of loss in the other. And there is no desire stronger than that of recovering what was lost. Thus, the alternation between proximity and distance becomes the most perfect psychological whip. A punishment without violence, a prison without walls. True power is established when the other believes that they are the one in control. This is the subtlest art, the one few dominate. The cunning prince allows the subjects to think they chose their ruler, when in reality they were led to the choice from the beginning. In the same way, the manipulator leaves gaps of autonomy, small spaces where the other can decide, but all options already lead to the same destination. It is the perfect labyrinth in which all exits lead back to the same center. Machiavelli insists on an uncomfortable truth. The loyalty of men is fragile. They can be faithful while the reward is advantageous, but they change sides at the first opportunity where convenience points in another direction. Therefore, the wise controller does not demand true loyalty. He fabricates it. He creates an emotional, symbolic, spiritual dependency. He makes the other associate his presence with a greater meaning, with a security or an ecstasy that cannot be found anywhere else. This is the invisible glue that holds even the most unstable of bonds together. The psychology of power teaches that the strongest bonds are not made of pure love, but of love mixed with fear, of desire intertwined with uncertainty. When the other does not know if they will be rewarded or punished, when they oscillate between hope and dread, their mind binds itself more deeply. It is the same principle that ancient emperors used in their spectacles, bread and circuses. One day, the people received parties and games. The next, they faced the threats of armed soldiers. And in this back and forth of emotions, they remained obedient.
He who understands Machiavelli realizes that predictability is the enemy of dominance,
To be always the same is to be disposable. The strategist must cultivate the aura of mystery, the impossibility of being totally deciphered. It is necessary for the other to feel that there is always something hidden, something that escapes, something that deserves to be unveiled. This insatiable search keeps the flame of curiosity alive, and curiosity is a more efficient prison than any iron chain. The Machiavellian controller does not promise constant paradise, but rather access to a secret that is never completely revealed. It is like a door that always opens, but never lets one see what is behind it. With each step, more enigmas, and since every human being hates the void of not knowing, the other continues advancing, believing they are about to discover the truth, when in reality, the secret is unattainable. Power lies in what is not totally given. A ruler who delivers everything to the people soon becomes disposable, because there is nothing left to expect. The manipulator who offers his entire interior loses the enchantment because there is no longer any mystery. Therefore, the secret is to always offer fragments, always halves, always unfinished promises, and each absence becomes a bait, each silence becomes a trap. Machiavelli did not write about intimate love, but he wrote about the love of power, and the two are faces of the same coin. Love, when mixed with calculation, becomes the most dangerous of games, for there is no resistance against one who offers what we most desire to hear, nor defense against one who knows the exact rhythm between giving and denying. This is the Machiavellian dance, approaching, withdrawing, promising, retreating, always maintaining the other in a state of constant search. In the end, it does not matter if it concerns a kingdom or a relationship. The mechanism is the same. Whoever controls hopes and fears controls actions. Whoever dominates symbols dominates bodies. And whoever knows how to create illusions inevitably reigns. All power is born of a perception, that which the other believes to be true. Machiavelli was implacable in stating that men prefer to believe than to know, because belief gives comfort and truth gives discomfort. The true strategist understands that he does not need to conquer through reality, but through narrative. Whoever controls the narrative controls the mind, and whoever controls the mind controls life. The third hidden law is this: become indispensable. Nothing imprisons more than the sensation that there is no alternative, that there is no path outside your influence. When the other believes that you are the only one capable of offering what they most seek, be it security, recognition, desire, or even pain transformed into pleasure, then your position of power solidifies. The indispensable is never abandoned, because the simple thought of living without it awakens terror. But how to become indispensable? Machiavelli would teach not by direct imposition, but by gradual construction. Show yourself first as an ally, then as a guide, then as a savior. Withdraw at strategic moments so that the void becomes unbearable. Return then as the answer to this lack, reinforcing the idea that only you possess the key. Thus, dependence is created, and dependence is the most sophisticated of chains. The Machiavellian manipulator knows that the essence of dominance lies in imbalance. A throne is not raised upon equality, but upon invisible hierarchy. When someone bows to your influence, even if unconsciously, that person is already trapped in an order of command. That is why the alternation between generosity and coldness is so powerful. It creates a contrast that keeps the other on alert. Like a subject who never knows if he will receive the king's embrace or the weight of his sword. It is in this game of uncertainties that the most lasting fidelity is born, because it is not a matter of true fidelity, but fidelity forced by the fear of losing what one already has. The strategist knows when the person fears loss more than they desire freedom, they will never rebel. And that is why psychological control is stronger than physical control. Bars can be broken, but the imprisoned mind rarely finds an exit. Machiavelli reminds us that the image of virtue must be carefully preserved, even when one acts with cruelty. It is the varnish that protects the rusted metal. The other must believe that you act out of kindness, that your intentions are pure, that every gesture of domination is actually a gesture of care.
The more convincing the mask, the more impossible it will be to question the face behind it. For to doubt you would mean doubting the very reality the other has already accepted. There is also the secret of inverted predictability. Be reliable only up to a certain point. Show consistency to inspire security, but break that consistency at strategic moments, creating the shock that reinforces your presence. Just as thunder tears the sky after a heavy silence, your unexpected action keeps the other on alert, trapped, waiting for the next gesture. Power lies not in satisfying totally, but in always maintaining the sensation that something could change at any instant. And if the fox and the lion are the archetypes of power, there is still a third animal that completes the trinity, the serpent. The serpent does not attack immediately. It insinuates itself, coils discreetly, and when least expected, the body is already immobilized. The manipulator must be like the serpent, patient, enveloping, almost invisible in his movements. When he finally squeezes, it is already too late. The victim believes they can still escape, but the prison was sealed long ago. History shows that empires fall when the ruler forgets to maintain the illusion. Kings who abused force, leaders who despised the mask of virtue, lovers who revealed their true face too soon. They all lost dominance because they confused power with brutality. Brute power is immediate but fleeting. Psychological power, invisible and silent, is enduring because it roots itself in the heart and mind. The disciple of Machiavelli understands that the true victory is not seeing the other obey an explicit order, but rather seeing them believe that it was they themselves who chose to obey. Obedience disguised as choice is the most sublime form of control. There is no resistance against one's own conviction. And when someone defends their own chains as if they were wings, the controller has already won. In the end, what Machiavelli reveals is not a manual for rulers only, but a mirror of the human being. It shows us that we all seek guides, symbols, affections, illusions. It shows us that the fragility of the soul is the easiest point to explore, and it shows us that power, on any scale, is always an art of illusion. The modern prince does not need armies or crowns.
He needs only the ability to read secret desires and transform them into instruments of dominance. Thus, the final lesson echoes: whoever controls hopes controls destiny. Whoever knows the vanities of the other reigns. Whoever knows how to create absence, mystery, and indispensability never loses his throne, even if he wears no crown at all. The strategy of Machiavelli, translated for today's times, remains the same. Govern without being noticed. Manipulate without them feeling manipulated. Dominate without raising suspicions. And when the other believes they are in command, smile in silence. For in that instant you will know that your victory is absolute.